What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy JP. I'm back at it. I got another video for y'all. I've been consistent. I've been keeping my word. I dropped 3 videos yesterday, so if you haven't tuned into those, make sure you go show them some love. But yeah, I got another video for y'all today. This one is drugs, sex, and gangs inside Rikers Island prison. It's actually a jail. Anybody that's not from New York City and don't know about Rikers Island, it's one of the most notorious jails in the country, right alongside LA County and Cook County and stuff like that. But the only difference with Rikers Island is that it's actually on a separate island. You gotta go on a bridge to get there. It's 10 jails on that island, consists of like women jails, juveniles, and obviously men jails. But yeah, a lot of people are scared to death to go there because of the things that go on in there. If y'all listen to Bronx drill music, that's where K-Flock, that's where D-Thing is being held at. If y'all heard the story of Khalif Browder, the kid who got locked up for like a stolen book bag and did 3 years in there and ended up committing suicide, that's the same jail that I went into. So we're gonna get straight into it. If it's your first time tuning into the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the kid. And yeah, we're gonna do it up. We're gonna get straight into it. I think this is like an informant that's exposing like a lot of things that be going on in there, just so y'all could get a glimpse of what the hell be going on there. 1.
I was a correction officer at Rikers Island for 2 years.
You gotta put that mask on.
Rikers
You over here exposing
is an island with 9 jails that house inmates awaiting trial. There's been multiple occasions when I've been touring and an inmate will pull his penis out, will masturbate. They would...
Yo, imagine that. As a woman, imagine you just... Because a lot of people, what people don't understand is like when it comes to like Rikers, the correctional officers is usually obviously people that live in the city as well. So they people just like you. Imagine just as a woman. Most people do it for a paycheck, to be honest, because COs get paid a lot of money. But just imagine you being there and these is men that it's not around no type of woman and they just backing out on you. Like, this is wild already.
Fires in their cell. You can be walking, doing your tour.
Fires in the cell.
And all of a sudden, urine or feces is thrown at you. The inmates are in there for murder, rape, domestic violence, burglary, robbery. It's just an island filled with gangs that are constantly trying to kill each other. Almost all of them had weapons, knives or sharp objects. Officers would be assaulted daily. It can range from a broken...
And the crazy thing, right now, they're going through it even crazier because they have a shortage of COs. A lot of COs is like quitting and stuff, so the jail is pretty much controlled right now by the inmates. And it's wild, so they getting violated left and right.
Nose to a broken eye socket, broken bones, broken ribs. There's no limit to what these inmates would do to you. We are at a time where the inmates are running the prison. There is definitely officers accepting bribes.
So she over here snitching on her fellow whatever officers.
I was hired to provide custody, care, and control of the inmates. The system has definitely failed everyone involved. The inmates, the officers, everyone involved is suffering. 60 people quit in one day.
60.
Your captains would side with the inmate before they would side with you. They're worried about that publicity because they're trying to keep certain things under wraps. Drugs is very rampant. There's K2, fentanyl, marijuana. Any drug basically you could think of, they probably have it. The value of any drug in jail is worth much more than it would be worth on the outside, maybe like 5 times more. There is definitely officers accepting bribes. Not only officers, but civilians bring it in as well. The people who are in charge of programs, doctors, nurses. During the pandemic, visits were suspended, so they weren't getting them through visits. Some of them are scared. Some of them do it for the money. On Rikers, the alcohol is called...
A lot of them do it for the money. Like I said before, COs get paid even though their job is like super tough. You know, they get constantly violated, disrespected. obviously they don't respect you, but a lot of them do it for the money. That's why a lot, like most of the things that going in there is because of that. And they just like you. These is people that just because they COs, that don't mean they live in fancy houses and stuff. This is somebody that could be your neighbor. So they relate with you so much that's why a lot of the bad things do go on in there, you know?
Hooch. And what they would do is save their fruits, and
hooch is
they
that
would ferment
liquor.
the fruit. They would mix it with hot water and sugar, and they would let it sit there. And then they would get drunk. They would become very touchy-feely. Then they would become aggressive. And then they would start fighting each other, start arguing. It would just lead to disaster. I remember the first time that an inmate masturbated in front of me. I was feeding them through the feeding slot. Once you open their slot to put their tray, they would like put their penis in the slot. I screamed, and the other officers on the floor was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "He's masturbating." And they were like, "Oh, he does that to everyone." Like it was just normal. I felt violated. I felt disrespected. I felt scared. I remember being scared to do my chores.
They made you beat your ass for doing that.
A time in the building that I worked where an inmate got into the A station where a female officer was. He was able to rip her duty belt off, rip her pants off. Thankfully, an officer came, was able to come and help her. He was being held for rape. I believe
Why don't they... Damn, he was held for rape, but why don't they just, like, keep all the women in, like, the woman jails just so it could be a little bit more safe? Because if you got a bunch of men locked up and there's no woman around, they're gonna act like that. Which is sad, but it's the truth.
Intentions were to rape her. They suggested that we wear Spanx underneath our uniform for just in case. It shouldn't be a just in case. Am I gonna go to work today and is my belt gonna be ripped off? Some of the inmates are used to the pepper spray, so it does nothing to them. And then there's others that threaten you. If you do use your spray, I'm gonna cut you. You're in a position like, do I spray and get cut, or what do I do? There's some of your captains are there just to tear you down. If you report something or you get into an incident, they want to know, what did you do wrong? What did you not do to prevent it? You're more likely to end up in jail being a correction officer than you would as a civilian on the street. Suicide attempts
you might be pushing
on Rikers are pretty common. It breaks my heart. They are humans, and they do have families that love them and are waiting for them to come home. It's just sad. Typically, there are about 50 inmates to one officer. The job was so draining that I would literally come from work and sleep until my next shift the next morning. Then the pandemic hit, and that's when I actually started getting stuck. That's 16 hours back to back. My coworker called. That's when
a lot of the CEOs, and that's where the shortage began during like the pandemic. Once that happened, everything changed for the worse.
Me from the jail. She's like, I'm on 24 hours and they won't let me leave. And they're saying if I walk off the post, I'm gonna get suspended. You're on post for 24 hours and then a fight breaks out and they expect you to do everything right on no sleep. You're supposed to still do
you don't even got no energy
to the best of your ability. I have seen female officers terminated for having relationships with the inmates. There has been incidents where officers have been impregnated by inmates. Once you start a relationship with an inmate, or once you say yes to them once, you can't say no because you're locked in. You're trapped at that point. I didn't have a coping method. I had chest pain. I've had colleagues died from heart attacks. I remember thinking I'm 21 and I'm gonna have a heart attack. I hit rock bottom.
That job is not for everybody.
I actually tried to quit like 3 times. You know, they would always convince me to stay in the fight. I remember getting to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just give me the paper to sign and I'm done. I remember still feeling that chest pain for probably up to 5 months after I quit, until it went away. Right after me, hundreds of people were quitting. If I can talk to an officer that was looking to join corrections, I would tell them, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth your quality of life. It's not worth your mental health. And until there is some sort of structure and safety, you shouldn't even consider it.
Man, that's crazy. Just listening to all the stuff that be going on in it. And the crazy thing about it is, if you do something to one of them dudes in jail, you could easily run into them, like in the regular world, because these is people that live in the same places that you live, which is crazy. Just speaking on that, I actually got a little cousin that's in there. He's facing like a crazy charge, so I wish the best of luck to him, because I know it's probably rough in there, not only for him but for everybody that's in there under those conditions. So hopefully he holding his head up. But yeah, this is the end of the video, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know under the comments what type of videos y'all like for me to react to, and we're gonna get to it. I'm out of here.